They pocket watching like okay, they trading on me like okay. The bitch I'm with go both ways, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, finally, the Saints schedule has been released. Woo! And we got some fire. Welcome back to the Meatzy Show. NFL schedule release podcast. Beautiful day today. Beautiful morning. Friday morning here. Doing a little quick episode. That way we can get into the Saints schedule, and they got some MMA this weekend, so we're going to try to watch some of that. And while we're here, I just want to remember and let everyone know, enjoy the little things in life. Enjoy the little things. And that's Meatzy's message for the day. But boy, let's get into it, huh? Let's get into it. Banger of a schedule. 32 schedule release videos. Some were bangers, some were, but what a day. I will say this though, before I start with all this, and I'm probably gonna fire some shots. This leaking stuff that happens, there's no point in waiting for the schedule. There's no point in waiting to watch the draft. There's no point in really waiting for anything, because it all gets leaked real quick, real fast, in a hurry, all week. New game coming out here. Steelers instead of the Browns in Paris. Saints are going to play him in week 1. Saints are going to play them. And it just kept going on and on. To the point last night, schedule release was supposed to be at 7. They dropping schedules at 6:30. Because it's like, well, yeah, of course. Because we can't keep up. And it's already been leaked to everyone. Everybody's a leaker. Everybody's a whistleblower nowadays. So that's one thing, and it's frustrating as a fan. It's like, okay, I want to sit here and wait and see and build up, and I can understand 1-2 games leaking, but the only game that I didn't, and I wrote it down right here, the only game that I didn't see that was leaked was week 4, week 5, week 13, and week 15. 4 games out of 17. We already knew the other 17 games. The other 13 games. That's like, at this point, dude, when you get the schedule, just put it out. Just build up, and everybody wants to do their own release video. I understand it's content and social media. It's 2026, but we got to do a little bit better. A little bit better with that. And hey, if you got information, you leak it. That's how people keep their job. That's how people are continuing to, so some people make their living, It's like being a gossip writer. We want to leak this. We the first ones to have this breaking news per sources. Maybe one day I'll have some sources. But until then, I don't. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm having trouble breathing this morning. But it's okay. We're going to power on through this, all right? And I want to run through the schedule real quick, if we can. Because it's a brutal first 2 games. I mean, I'm talking about brutal first 2 games. Not saying it's going to be blowouts. I think we'll be competitive, but both teams are out to prove that last year didn't happen. I mean, as simple as that. You're talking about Detroit, 9-13, which is another interesting thing. The NFL has pushed everything back a week. So instead of it being 9-6, the first weekend in September, and let me make sure I have that right. And that is the first weekend in September. Yeah, it usually is the first weekend in September. So instead of being September 6th, we're going to play September 13th. So the NFL has pushed everything back a week. That's why we'll finish on January 10th and not, right after New Year at week 17, week 18, like we normally would do. So anyway, Detroit, week 1. And I'm all for it. Let's throw Tyler into the deep end. First 2 weeks of the season, let's throw this whole team into the deep end. You know, my biggest problem with this team is their depth. Their depth. This is an 8 to 9 win team with the 53-man roster that is available right now. Not saying we can't sneak out a couple more games. Not saying anything. All I'm saying is with the roster and the depth that we have on this field, with a potential 53-man roster right now, we got 90-something players, is 8-9. 9-8 at the best. You know, and that's if everything goes smoothly, because we start getting into a lot of injuries. We start having 10, 12, 11 guys injured or missing some games. It's gonna be a major factor for us because we have no depth. And yeah, we signed a rookie draft class. Okay, that's only 7 people, 8 people, you know. Oh, we signed all these undrafted free agents. Okay, they're undrafted free agents for a reason, dude. This makes sense. Like, how many undrafted free agents make it in the league? We got 1,700 wide receivers. Only 6 or 7 are going to make it. You know, few will go to the practice squad. We overload rooms that we think are going to be necessary for us, and then we getting rid of all the shit that just ain't good for us. As simple as that. But saying that we signed a bunch of undrafted free agents is going to help our depth, you must not watch football. It doesn't. And just because the Saints have a history of hitting on undrafted free agents, we can sign 100 of them. Maybe 2 are going to really, maybe. So there's that. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. I'm a Saints fan, die hard. I mean, before probably some of you were even born, we buried my aunt with a Saints blanket in Jersey. Like, you want to talk about die hard? Die hard, man. We was there when there was nobody winning. There was nothing. So I want the Saints to win. But I'm also realistic. And I'm also looking at everything, and I also watch the game. And we're an 8-9 win team. Now, the way this schedule plays out, dude, easily 10, 11 wins. You easily can get to 9. You can get to 10, 11, possibly 12 with a couple of the scenarios. So let's jump back onto it. Week 1, Detroit Lions. So I chalk that up as a loss. You know, both teams want to try to prove last year didn't happen. And they both are, last couple of years, been 2 teams that start out hot and always fizzle during the playoffs. You know, that's one of their biggest major problems, is getting there, having the great seed, doing this, doing that, and then they get to the playoffs and they can't get over the hump. So, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen again this year for both teams. Ravens are going to rebound. No way they're as bad as they were last year with all that talent. Fresh leg Lamar Jackson in week 2. Lions, you got a Goff, and you know everybody's Lions defense and Aaron Glenn's going. Lions defense is going to be all right. You're going to have Deion, you're going to have Branch back, Anzalone will be back. You're going to have, and then you got Hutchinson. Now you got Peyton Turner wearing Marcus Davenport's number. Not saying they're going to be at a factor, but hey, the Lions weren't the number 1 seed a couple years ago for nothing. The Lions got talent. The Lions will be there this year, competitive. You know, can they beat the Bears or the Packers? Probably might be the toughest division in the NFC is the NFC East. I mean, the NFC North. Because the NFC East, I don't believe will be too tough. But the NFC North is going to be tough. So let's roll into it. Like I said, and no, nobody wants to start off like this. This is a horrible start. When I say horrible start, this is a horrible start. 0-2 to start the season. That's bad, dude. That's bad. But it gets better. And I trust in Shook and the coaching staff to get better. Just the NFL kind of just threw us to the wolves first 2 weeks. At Lions, at Detroit. So I'm thinking we start off 0-2. So 0-2 going into the home opener. Kubiak returns to the Dome. Was our offensive coordinator a couple years ago. Won a Super Bowl with Seattle last year. Raiders number 1 pick for Fernando Mendoza. He doesn't have many weapons. He's got Genty in the back of him. They still got Max Crosby. They still, they have these other things on defense, but will he even be ready to play? That was one of the things why the Ravens trade fell through. So I have us getting that W against the Raiders, putting us at 1-2 on the year. Atlanta beat us twice last year. Let's move on to Atlanta. Week 4, only primetime game. Saints got one primetime game. Better than none. I don't know. Earlier in the week, I was like, man, we might get 3 or 4. And then as the schedule leaks kept coming out, you kept saying, well, fuck, we're not going to have a Thursday night game. Okay. Doesn't look like we're going to have a Sunday night game. So the only realistic option for us at that point, because we're in Paris, week 7, is, okay, the Dome coming, 20 years, maybe we get that one. And we did. Monday Night Football, week 4, against the Falcons. Now, here's the thing about the Falcons. Rumor has it, too, before I go for it, rumor has it the Falcons did not want to play the Saints on the Dome coming, and the NFL was like, well, you're going to get it, buddy. So that's an interesting story. Not sure how much is true. It comes from a reputable writer in New Orleans. Won't name him, but I do read a lot of his stuff, and a lot of his stuff usually is true. So Atlanta beat us twice last year. Atlanta don't beat us twice this year. We get our get back on Atlanta this year. And that's going to be another W. So now, oh, excuse me, guys. I'm under the weather a little bit. So it might be a little rough episode, but hey, we're here. We're making it. We're doing the best that we can, dude. And that's all we can do. All you can do is wake up and do the best that you can. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody tell you what you can do. And just do the best you can at whatever it is you want to do. Enjoy the little things. It's gonna be one of these episodes, and that's fine. That's fine, dude. We're here and we're giving it our best. That's all we can do. All right, so let's move on. Now we got the Vikings. Play the Vikings at home, and here's why. I said this on the Hold the Mayo show yesterday. They have a lot of streakiness in the schedule, a lot of chances to build momentums and build some streaks for the Saints. If everything plays out and you can build up and you can stay healthy and, get it going. But it's a very, very streaky schedule, and it could set up a lot of momentum for the Saints. And this is one game that it could, because we go, look, 2 games on the road, 3 games at home. Raiders, Falcons, Vikings. I don't like the Vikings game. I don't know why. So, I don't know. We play horrible in Minnesota. It just seems like us and the Vikings, besides that Christmas Day game where AK had 6 touchdowns, they come and beat us in the playoffs. We always have something that just doesn't go right against Minnesota. So I took us with 2-2 going into the Vikings game, and I took the Vikings to beat us, okay? So that puts us at 2-3. I got us beating the Giants on the road before we go to Paris to play the Steelers. And thanks to the NFL for putting us on the road in New York, and then we got to fly across, But it would have been kind of shitty to put us in the middle of the country or do something else. But the NFL was like, hey, you know what? Y'all got to go to Paris. So look, we'll put y'all in New York, and then y'all can fly straight from New York to Paris, which, great. Love it. So I got us beating the Giants, losing to the Vikings. That puts us at 3-3. The Steelers in Paris. I got us losing that one. You got Mike McCarthy. Steelers defense has been good. Only thing they're missing is offense, and that's what Mike McCarthy came in to do, is offense. Traveling, first game internationally for the Saints, Kellen Moore era. I don't know if it goes well. I'm just putting us a loss there, and I got us 3-4 going into the bye. But this is a big but this is where you can really do something if you're the Saints, and it wouldn't matter about the Paris game. You want to win them all. But if you can flip just one of those, if you can beat the Vikings or the Steelers, and you can go into the bye week 4-3 instead of 3-4, I think we're cooking. I think it looks great. I'll even take it going in 3-4 because of the way the back end of the schedule sets up. it's a very favorable back end of the schedule. And that's just what it is. And that's as simple as that. Now, you can argue with me. You can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm here to give you everything I know about it. But if you can flip one of these games, because that's interesting. You flip that Vikings game, and this is where it gets streaky. Hey, drop your first two on the road. Get kind of your worst two teams that you play this year out the way. Very start, as far as historically. 0-2. 1-2, 2-2. You win that Vikings game. All of a sudden now you're 3-2. You got a chance to get a 4-game win streak before going to Paris. You could be 4-2. You hit Paris, 4-game win streak, fly into Paris. Paris, oui. That could be 5. You could be 5-2 after dropping your back-to-back opening games. You could be 5-2. Come the bye week. I got us being 3-4. I can see just one of those games flipping and making it 4-3 and going to the bye. But there's a potential. That's what I'm saying when I say the schedule's streaky. There's a potential that this thing just streaks. And hey, even if you don't, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you got chances to win 5 games in a row. You got another chance later on to win 5 games in a row. Possibly 6. So let's just stick with what I thought, 3-4, going into the bye. And potentially, like I said, you flip one of those games, you 4-3 going into the bye. Which, hey, everybody's kind of one. Man, I know it's not what we want to see, but we have to be honest. 8-9 win talent-wise team. Electric 22. We don't have the other 31 players. Not yet, we don't. But we're working on it. That's why we can get to that 9-10 win threshold this year. 8-9, get in between 8 and 10. Dude, next year we're coming. And I think that's the plan. I think that's the plan all along. We're not trying to lose games. We're trying to win these games. But I think that's the plan. Look at the easiness of bringing these players in. Look at the easiness of not rushing them into practice, not rushing them into the games in year 1. Year 2, we're building momentum. We got a couple free agents. Next year, league will be on notice. We got $54 million in cap space already, if I read correctly, or remember correctly. 54 million in cap space, another year of drafts, another year of seeing what works, don't work, another year under Shuck's belt, 2027 to 2028 season. Trust me, is what we're aiming for here. Yeah, I want to win now. I want to win, and I want to go to the playoffs. I want it to be exciting. Realistically, next year is our year. Cap space, more draft picks. Get back into picking in the middle of the pack this year where you can kind of go best player available, need whatever you need. 7 more players, that's 7 more backups. Get rid of this. We went from the 4th oldest to like the 4th youngest team in 365 days in a 1-year flip. We got to keep going in that direction. It looks great. Yeah, we want Shuck to throw 5,000 yards. Realistically, this is going to be a mediocre middle of the pack year. And next year, it's like, boom. The only thing that saves us this year is the fact that the South sucks. It is what it is. The South sucks. Nobody is scared of the NFC South. Nobody looks at the NFC South and is like, man, they're going to make a run for it this year. No, nobody's improved that much. Yeah, it's names. It looks like it. It's great on paper. Talent-wise, through the whole 53, nobody's really got that great this offseason. So it's still going to be the same teams fighting for the South, and we always fighting for it. We could be in there. And that's just what it is, So let's go our 3-4 after the bye. Our 4-3, could be 5-2. And then we got the Browns and the Panthers, back-to-back home games again. And this is how, it sets up awesome for us with that. Browns, I got us taking a W, putting us at 4-4. Now look, here's the thing. When it comes to these division games, we always play great in Carolina. We always play great in Tampa Bay. But when they come to New Orleans, they always beat us. It's what it is. It just happens. So I got us beating the Browns, putting us at 4-4. Turn around the next week at home. What happens? Carolina, last second field goal. Fucking Carolina kicks it through and wins. Always happens. We play them worse when they're at home, and we play them better when we're on the road. So I got us losing to Carolina at home. That puts us back at 4-5. This is where it's like, oof, we got November 22nd, November 29th, getting to the cold months. We go back to back at Chicago, at Cincinnati. Both games are at noon, so I don't think the weather's going to be that big of a factor. Probably high 40s, high 50s, maybe somewhere in the low, some little wind or something, That's going to be fine. I don't think it hurts us that much. I think we lose to Chicago, and then we beat Cincinnati. So now we're 5-6, and this is where I think the schedule can take off for us. Last year, we won our last 4 out of 5 games, 5 out of 6, whatever it was. 4 out of 5 because we only won 5. This is where we have a chance to really put everything like, oh, the Saints are here. Now, hey, you go back and you change that 4-3 into 3-4 before the bye, and you flip one of them Vikings-Steelers games. Now you're 4-3. So instead of be 5-6 going into this Packers game, now you 6-5. You pull off the upset of the Packers, because it's going to be an upset. It's going to be an upset, as simple as that. I don't think anybody right now has us beating the Packers. You go in there and you pull off beating the Packers, and that's in New Orleans. You pull off beating the Packers at home. You're 7-5. Now that's if you flip one of them games up there, Steelers and the Vikings. That's why the schedule's so interesting to me. You can flip one of those 2 games up there. Instead of being 3-4 and going into the bye, you're 4-3. And then now you're 6-5 going into the Packers game instead of 5-6. You beat the Packers, you're 7-5, and the NFL's like, whoa. We're here. We're here 7-5. 7-5 after week 13. Nobody would have thought it. Nobody would have thought it. Now, hey, maybe we're not 7-5. Maybe let's go back to we'll be 5-6, and then I have us losing to the Packers. So that'd put us 5-7. It still can set up perfectly for us, though. Even at 5-7 after week 13. Hey, and the numbers don't look good. Hey, I'll take 5 wins at week 13, though. We didn't have 5. We had 5 wins all last year. We had 1 win in the first 10 games. I'll take 5 before week 13. But this is where the Saints can go on a run. Get hot at the end, get into the playoffs with momentum. The next 4 games, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Atlanta. 3 on the road, 1 at home. But where do we play the best? We play very good at Carolina, division game. Play very good at Tampa Bay, division game. Cardinals, back at home, week 16, getting our get back, son. That's our get back, son. You beat us last year. Should have been Spencer's first win of the season. Juwan drops the ball in the end zone. Getting our get back. Atlanta, week 17, we're not losing to Atlanta this year. Twice. You beat us twice last year. We're beating you twice this year. Getting our get back. So let's look at that. You could swap one of them games beginning of the season, Vikings or Steelers, and you 4-3 instead of 3-4 going in a bye. You possibly, even if you lose to the Packers, you're still 6-6. So happen you 6-5 and you beat them. Now you're 7-5. I'm going to say we're still 5-6 right here. We're 5-7 losing the Packers. But hey, Carolina, win, 6-7. Bucks on the road, win, 7-7. Cardinals at home, win, 8-7. Atlanta on the road, win, 9-7. Boom, just like that. 4-game win streak, complete flip. Bucks at home, potential division title? The potential division title? Don't know, but could be. Could be on the line. Week 18 to be determined. It is at home. And that's where you go. Like, We don't ever play the Bucks good at home. Simple as that. So on my schedule, I put a loss because that most likely would be what happened. Baker comes down last 2-minute drill or some shit. But if you can pull off that one, that's 10-7. You pull off that Packers one, that's 11-6. You flip one of those Vikings-Steelers games, you're 12-5. There's a lot of ifs, but it's not really when you really, really think about it, is it? It's not. It's very, very possible. So I have us losing that Bucks game and going 9-8, and trying to fight and claw our way for the division title. And at this weight, we're 4-2 in the division. We've only lost to the Bucks and the Panthers. The NFC South would be ours, and we would be moving on to the playoffs. But it's so simple. Out of the Bucks, the Packers, the Steelers, and the Vikings, you can pull off one of those 4 games, you're 10-7. It's the way I'm looking. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm logical, realistic, probable. But those 4 games, I think, are going to be our biggest what ifs. If you can flip those 4 games, one of them, just one of those games, win one of those 4 games, I think it's going to be a dramatic difference in what the team can do. And I'm not saying, hey, the team could come out and be 4-0. Could be 5-0. The team could be 0-7. I don't know. I haven't watched them practice. I haven't watched them play. We don't know what the other teams are doing. We can only hope. And there's hope. And that's what's so great about this year is there's hope. There's optimism. There's a belief. There's a feeling that, you know what? No matter what, we got a chance. And we haven't felt like that in 4 or 5 years. And that's what makes it so great. That's what makes it so awesome. I'm not going to go into the international games. We got 9 of them. I give a shit about your Sunday night football schedule, your Monday night football schedule. Only Monday night game I care about is week 4 because the Saints are on it. The international games are getting ridiculous. The Jaguars basically should just move to London. I know they're not getting no money in Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't even get them to stay there for half the season. There's a lot of stuff. The Cowgirls keep getting thrown down our throats. The Giants, it's like, oh, God, dude. Like, Dart wasn't that great. Like, just because the kid wears diamond necklaces and looks like a poster child for dummies. He's a pretty boy, but no, dude, get out of here with that. But boy, they're going to shove those down your throat, and that's why I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to give them my brain space this morning. You know, I'm trying to enjoy the little things, and I'm trying to enjoy the Saints. And I'm going to enjoy the Saints this year, because this is going to be, hey, it ain't going to be 12-5, 13-3, 4, 14-3. Get it out your head. It's the NFL. Don't work like that. It ain't going to work like that. It ain't ever worked like that. It ain't going to start. You got to look at it realistically. And realistically, we can get 9 or 10 wins. You can easily squeeze 11 or 12 out of the schedule. You know, everything goes right. But like I said at the beginning of the show, it's the depth. The depth, you know. There's no distinguished backups. There's no backups that any of us could probably even really name right now, you know, besides the right guard, redundance. And that's it. It's redundant. Redundance. Radens, but it's redundant. Don't have a backup center. Don't have a backup left guard. No backup tackles. No backup defensive linemen. We don't even have defensive linemen, really. You know, we signing all these undrafted free agents. Okay. The likelihood of any of them work out is almost 0. So, but hey, I'm excited. This is exciting. This is going to be awesome. And hey, we went from Derek Carr. We won 5 games last year, which was better than having seen Derek Carr could have won 13. I would have much rather won 5 without him. And this year we could be potentially 9-10. Growth. Growth. Oldest team to the youngest team. Not youngest completely, but one of them. 5 wins to 9, 8, 9. That's 3, 4 wins picked up this year. That's growth. That's all we're trying to see is growth. Growth. Great schedule. And it sets up to be a very streaky schedule where if the Saints can put some things together, who knows? You 5-2 going into the bye, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 7-4, 7-5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Easily, dude. It sets up so streaky. And sets up in the Saints' favor in a lot of ways, I think. And I'm pretty sure everybody's saying their team's set up to. I don't know. I thought if the schedule would have came out, you would have put Detroit and Baltimore somewhere else in that schedule, mixed in with the Chicago, Cincy, and the Green Bay games and stuff like that. I'd been like, fuck, man, there's a chance we could lose 5 in a row. I don't see that there a chance for that. You might lose 2 in a row. You could lose the Chicago and the Cincy game. That's two 2-game losing streaks. And after that, it's like, okay, well, hey, there's no reason you should lose 2 in a row or even more after that. And that's what benefits the Saints in the schedule. And that's what benefits the whole season is if you can just keep your shit together long enough and avoid those dulls and just win the games you're supposed to win, especially at home. You can beat the Vikings at home. You're supposed to win at home, and you're 3-2, and that's the game you flip. You beat the Packers at home, game you're supposed to win. That one's flipped. Then you beat the Bucks at the end of the year at home. Panthers at home. Like, there's a lot that can go on right here, and there's a lot of positive. Like, Mayo said it last night, like, it's a very lookable schedule, and it is. You can look at it, and you can come up with 1,000 different scenarios, and they're all good for the Saints. No matter how it starts, no matter how it looks, no matter how frustrating, it ain't about week 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about week 16 through 18, and where are you gonna be? And is the horse coming around the corner, my boy? Oh, yeah, dude. But we can get boogie and start dancing, son. Start dancing. So, great schedule release. 32 minutes in, and we got 32 teams. So that's it for episode 5 of the Meatzy Show. NFL schedule release. Final prediction: Saints go 9-8 on the year. NFC South title. Wild card round. Maybe get to the divisional. It won't go no further than that. I'd like to see us kind of flip a couple of these games, get to 10-7. But my final prediction: 9-8, wild card round, losing the divisional round, build a lot of momentum for next year, and that's when we're coming. Peace.
They pocket watching like okay, they trading on me like okay. The bitch I'm with go both ways. Okay, okay.